Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to another YouTube video. It is my secondary bench day, but it's week 4, so this is the heaviest that I'll do this entire training block on the secondary bench day. And secondary bench day just means my second heaviest bench day during the week. I do competition bench twice a week, and this is my more volume focused day, and then I have my strength focused day on my primary day, and then I have a variation on my third priority bench day, which is medium grip right now. But anyways, let's hop into the top set, 5 reps, 135.
You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You are kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down.
Alright, so I just finished my 2 back off sets. My top set actually felt pretty good, 5 reps. Prescribed RP 8, and I think it was RP 8. I feel like I had 2 solid reps left in the tank. I've hit 5 reps at 135 several times over the last year, but I think that's the easiest that it's moved. Last time I did it was definitely like RP 9, so feels like good progress. And then these back off 2x5 at 125 felt like RP 6, RP 7 tops maybe on the second one, but felt pretty easy. Now I have Larson bench. So it's no question that being a powerlifter is a very high patience sport, especially when you've been doing it for years, and especially for upper body lifts, because like my max is only 165 pounds on bench. So like getting even 1 extra rep at 135 is a win, or like today getting the same amount of reps but at a lower RPE is basically like getting an extra rep. And it's not always necessary to be like pushing RP 10 to make those progressions. Sometimes it's just ability PRs, moving the same weight, same number of reps at a faster speed than you did the previous week, and that's a way to progress. My back offs feel pretty good for Larson bench. I did 6 reps at 120 for my first set. Prescribed RP 7 and it's only RP 6, so I'm like, it's week 5 and I only have 5 sets of 5 sets of barbell bench instead of 6 this week, so I'm like, should I move up to 125 for the next set? We'll see. I'm thinking about it still. I'll show you that last set of bench, and then I'm going into dumbbell bench after that. So 8 total sets of benching variations this workout. Definitely my most volume heavy chest bench day, even though it's not my heaviest day of the week. But anyways, let's hop into the rest of the workout. So I did end up jumping up in weight to 125 for 6 reps on Larson bench for my last set. So that was after already doing less weight the previous set and in my last exercise of the day. And I hit 6 reps, which is the rep PR at 125. So that's pretty good, pretty happy. That's definitely a win. So now I'm gonna see if I could crank out dumbbell bench for 3 sets of 10 at the 50s next. Chest is feeling a little bit fatigued because I did overshoot to RP 8 on that, but let's see how it goes. That was definitely a win. I got through all 3 sets of 10 reps with the 50s. Last week I only got through 1 set of 10, and then the last 2 sets, second and third sets, were sets of 8. First set, only RP 6, nice and smooth and easy, but sets of 10 and higher, I noticed I fatigue really quickly on those, as do most people, I believe. But RP 8 on the second and third sets, which was the prescribed RP anyways. So now I have single arm skull crushers next. So I think this is the 16th week, 4th training block that I've been running single arm skull crushers for. And when I first started doing them, the 15s were too easy, but the 20s were like impossible. And now I'm doing the 20s really easily for all 3 sets of 12 reps. So one thing I will say is if you're struggling to progress, especially on arm exercises is you can do drop sets / cluster sets, where when I first started doing the 20s, I would do like 6 reps at the 20s and then I would drop down and do my last 6 reps at the 15s. So that's one way to kind of progress without fully doing that full set, and you're still getting the volume rep ranges that you need to, but you're getting used to that heavier weight, and then eventually it's going to be a lot easier. I've done that on curls a lot recently too. Sometimes on back exercise you can do that. You really do it on any movement, and that's an easy way to kind of jump up. That was the heaviest that I've ever done for single arm lat pull downs. I did 10 reps on each arm at 60 pounds. I definitely want to get more of a burn on the subsequent sets, so I'm going to drop down to 50 pounds and just do sets of 12 and get a really nice squeeze and slow eccentric. But it feels pretty good that I definitely made a lot of progress on my vertical pulling movements, being able to hit that for 10 reps. All right, I'm down to my last 2 exercises. I just have face pulls and rope tricep extension. 3 sets of 15 on face pulls at 30 pounds because my cable pulley is like super challenging. I've talked about this in other videos, but basically when you have the weight at the top, it's like twice as heavy at least than at the commercial gym. Like I'm doing like 80, 100 pounds on face pulls at the commercial gym, but here I'm only doing 30 pounds. And then on tricep extensions, usually I'm doing 60, and I'm only doing 30 here, 3 sets of 12. So anyways, I'm just gonna breeze through that real quickly. I won't show you the whole sets in for you, but then we'll hop into the rest. I'm gonna save the rest of my week 4 lifts for next week's video, but before I wrap up this video, I'll show you a few highlights from week 3 and just some other lifting thoughts from my most recent week of training. My primary lifts from week 3. So anyways, let's hop into it. So starting with deadlifts, one thing that I've been noticing for my deadlift progressions is not going for like heavy top end sets has been what's helped me progress the most with my deadlifts, because it's kept me healthy, and I find that I respond really well to like the RP 5 to 6 range on deadlifts. This is my top set. It was a prescribed RP 7, but it's only RP 6, and old me would have been like, oh, I'm gonna do another set, I'm gonna go up to 315 just because I can. That was only 305 pounds for 3 reps, and then these are my back off 3 sets of 6 at 275. But the benefit of like undershooting your top set a little bit is those back off volume sets will just fly and you'll feel really good. And I find that what helps me the most on deadlifts is just getting the movement dialed in and moving it really fast. And then I respond really well to peak. So if I'm trying to peak a top end 1 rep max on deadlift, I don't have to be like pushing out heavy sets all the way in my volume off season land. So save it for the time and the place. And then on bench, like I said, this was a really solid, the workout that I just showed you, solid secondary bench day, because that was week 4. I hit 5 reps at 135, and then this was my week 3 primary bench day where I hit 3 reps. It was a little slow, like RP 8 at 140. And then my back offs were 3 sets of 3 at 135 pounds, and they moved about the same RP as my top set of 5 did on my secondary bench day. That speed on that last rep was about the same speed as my 5th rep on the workout that I just showed you. So in comparing those 2 workouts, one thing that I will say is sometimes it's just about getting the volume in. Sometimes you have goals for a specific day, like I'm going to move this at RP 7, it's going to be really smooth and easy, and then it doesn't move exactly how you planned it to move, and then the next week it's going to be feeling better. So sometimes it's just about pushing that volume out. And this was my primary squat day, 215 pounds for my top set of 3, and then these are my back offs, 3 sets of 5 at 190 pounds, and I have a full secondary workout of my lower body day in my last week's video. So that was my 5th workout day of the week, actually my 1st day of the week, but my 5th overall, the only day that I'm not including in this video. But anyways, that's all. So I'm just gonna hop into the rest of the video. Alright, that is all for today's YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, in next week's video, I'm going to be going through week 4, all of my heaviest lifts from the training block in next week's video. Let me know if there's any other topics that you want me to cover in the future. Posting videos every single week throughout the entire year, so definitely have a lot of ground to talk about, literally anything health and fitness related. So let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about in particular. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye.